You're
Oh,
supposed to put the video.
I didn't know where that is.
You okay? Well, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. We're live. Come on in, guys. It's
Or
another.
come on in.
Come on in. Yeah. I am your host, Jeff Mader, here with co-host Jaemeel Robinson for another edition of Super Mader Bros Podcasting. We are doing a very special premiere, season 41. Jaemeel, it's here. It's different than any season we've ever seen before, and I'm here for it on certain levels and not here for it on others, but I'm ready to cover it either way. Uh, is there anything quick breakdown here of quick hot takes? You got anything on the
Quick
tip of your
hot
tongue?
takes.
Anything on the tip of your
Um,
tongue? Yeah.
Whenever a situation like that, especially in the latter tribal, I think was for you Ua was the name of the tribe.
Yeah.
Right? Um,
Ua.
Ua.
They're the Green
Uh,
Tribe.
yes, Green Tribe. Speed is a great teaching tool for a lot of people. You can learn a lot from watching the movie Speed. And one of the most important things that Keanu Reeves says is um, if you're taken hostage or there's a hostage that's involved, get the hostage how to play, shoot the hostage, right? And they should have just shot the hostage, in my opinion, in terms of their last vote. It shouldn't have been as complicated as it was.
With the
Uh,
Green Tribe.
Green Tribe, especially, I thought that it was a clear person um, who should have been taken out immediately without a second thought, especially with how they were acting. And in my opinion, they went in the wrong way.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the person you're referring to is JD.
Oh,
Right?
actually, no, I
Okay.
disagree.
I was actually originally thinking that you meant Ricard.
I did.
Okay, that's who I said this to Amanda, and Amanda was originally like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm not so hot on JD. I wouldn't believe him either." But then, yeah, I said to her, I was like, if I were in a tribe and anybody that was trying to control the vote, like, and we saw it in the other tribe, which was Abraham, but I also thought that Evie would also have been a target for me. I think she played it a lot slicker and a lot better. That's how you're supposed to play it, but she was definitely trying to control her tribe there. And to me, like that, when you're early on, and I try to see, and people are trying to kind of wrangle people and get them like to vote the way they want to, those are to be always the biggest threats.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, yeah,
I
I agree.
absolutely agree.
Yeah, okay,
and
so
and I'll tell you the reason why I felt very strongly, even though I don't think that JD played this episode from beginning, middle, and end. He did not play it well at all.
no,
And if he got voted out, I think he pretty much deserved it. Um, the reason why I feel that way about Ricard was he was so adamant about voting a certain way, and when you present it to your tribe, especially that you're going to impose your will and not do so in a way that is slick or open ended, so that people can take it as you're not just going to exert your will but just listen to the tribe. He was exerting his will, right?
yes, yes,
And what should have happened was the individuals who were being held hostage should have just turned around and go, why don't we just vote out Ricard? Problem solved. We're together, right? Why would you vote out Brad? Why would you even suggest that? That would be Brad is someone you want to keep in the game. He's going to tell you who he's going to vote for.
yeah.
I'm keeping him. I'll keep him as long as possible. He works hard and he has no strategy. Great. Thank you, Mr. 2001 man.
Thank you, Survivor One.
Yes.
Survivor Australia. Thank you. Yes, no, absolutely. I agree with you. What you want to do is get the people out who, yeah, are trying to control the vote in such a blatant way. And you're right. Ricard was, I actually thought the same thing that you did. The reason why I brought JD up first was because he was so obvious with lying. And And so I could totally understand where Ricard was coming from, but at the same time, Ricard was overplaying his hand. He reminds me of what was that guy that was on Nicaragua and he made it to the end and everybody hated him? Sash. He remind he
Yes.
reminds me so
Yes.
much of Sash
Yes.
from Nicaragua, and I just like I get the exact vibes that he was talking about JD are the exact vibes I'm getting off him, and I don't know.
No one's
Let,
voting for this man at the end.
no,
No one's voting for this man at the end.
I don't think so. I don't think he has much of a likable bone in his body as far as Survivor goes.
So what
You
you're
know,
saying, Jeff, is that picture of him is spot on.
I think it's representative of how he views himself in the game, which is like game bot.
Yeah.
And yeah, for sure. Which is I would love to be a game bot, but that's not the way to win. So like okay, let's talk a little bit about how this season starts because Jeff kind of like it felt like finale night right off the bat. I know you missed like the first like little bit of it, Jaemeel, but like
Mhm.
yeah, it starts off with him just walking through the jungle and he's like talking all about like they kind of do a recap of season 40 and now he's like, okay, this season's different, you know, and he's like walking through and he's just like, look, this is a reset of Survivor. We're going 26 days. We're voting people out. We're not giving them any food, and we're gonna be a lot more careful with the words we say, which makes sense. But at the same time, why is Jeff telling us this? Like, I kind of find like he was kind of like rubbing me the wrong way tonight, Jeff. Like, I'm like, what is he doing? Like, why is he? I don't know. What do you think of all that?
So I missed that earlier part, especially the part considering they're gonna watch the words that they say. They kind of mentioned it during the challenge, and yes, sure you can do that, and you do that by just showing it. You don't need to mention it, right? This is the stuff that you do in the preseason when you're on Entertainment Tonight and the
Yeah.
various other channels. You don't do it during the show, right? During the show, you show people you show people in actions in terms of how you use the words. You don't say that you're going to not use certain words, and I felt that that kind of missed the mark.
Well,
Um,
okay, can we talk about a little bit like did you see the part on the boat on the barge where he asks everybody like, "Hey, come on in guys. Should I say the word guys?" And then everyone kind of just like doesn't want to answer and is kind of shy, but then Evie speaks up and goes, "No, guys is fine, whatever." Like, you know, and he kind of I think like Jeff was like disappointed. He was just like, "Damn, I didn't get the answer I wanted." It's like he's trying to get the answer. He's like, "I've already decided this. I don't want to use come on in guys. So please, survivors, tell me what to do, but I'm telling you what to tell me what to do." You know what I mean? Like he's kind
Yeah,
of like,
and Ricard rang that bell.
yeah,
He's like, I think Jeff wanted me to tell him this, so I'm gonna tell it to him now.
yeah. It's like, but it's like they took Ricard aside. It's like, hey, like, okay, or maybe he said it in an interview. He's like, yeah, maybe I wasn't okay with that. He's like, tell Jeff that. Jeff wants to know
Yeah,
that's perfect. So next thing and he's like, that's great. This is my last come on in guys, which I always rolled my eyes every time he did come on in guys, not because he said the word guys, but because they're outside.
come over here, guys.
Anyway, okay, so all right, so all right, a lot of this started off too, Jaemeel, with the pandemic as far as like how that affected all these players. They showed us a lot of clips from people
A
from from
lot.
from back home. What did you make of all that? Like, was that something that you enjoyed, or was
No,
that okay? Me either, but it was definitely different. I feel like I'm watching a different show
yeah.
in some ways.
Jeff, Survivor is a story that is told on the island, right? It's not Lost, where we recap and we go back and we see what JD was doing and all the stuff. No, what's happening on the island and the person that we're seeing today is who we're interacting with. They might talk about the past, but they're talking about the past with the experience and the presence of right now. So going back and showing clips and showing pictures, unless it's like a loved one visit or something very specific, it has no job. It has no place in the presentation throughout the episode,
I
in my
totally
opinion.
agree with you, Jameel. Like, I think, like, all right, the best example that's kind of running through my mind is the JD example, where and I kind of think they spent the most time with him as far as like, yeah, a lost type flashback of, he was the Carlton Banks, not the Will Smith. He used that line tonight, which, um, okay, fair enough. But at the same time, I don't need you to show me a clip of him wearing glasses and looking different. Like,
He wore
just
glasses like a
yeah,
scene later.
right, yeah. And like, it's like, okay, like, the best thing about Survivor is that once they're on the island, that it's their job to explain to us who they are and why they should, why you should like them, or why you should fit their narrative, or why you should want to follow their story, I
Yeah,
guess I should say. Yeah, and so, like, for me it was just kind of like overkill. Like, I don't know, I feel like Probst is got his hands too much on this show sometimes, because this is just screams Probst to me.
yeah.
You
It's
know?
He's making this elaborate narrative. There's no like the elaborate narrative of Survivor is the action and the confessionals and the strategy on the island. The island itself is the game, is all that we need to know, all that I personally care about. If I need to know something, it'll come through a confessional, and the person will talk about how they've changed or how they've improved. I don't need for you to show me. If you tell me that you were a two-time state champ, you know what? I don't need to see it. I'll take you at your word because you're saying it as a confessional. You're not lying to me, right? It's not like it's Big Brother where the people are constantly lying.
Yeah. No, they're more honest, especially at the beginning, and it's like it's more of a litmus test of like how honest they can be, and you kind of saw that a little bit tonight. But let's get into kind of like what they did right off the bat on the barge. Basically, let's talk about the three tribes. We'll kind of go through them. Okay, so Luvu, the Blue Tribe. So we have Danny, the NFL player. We have Deshaun, the medical student. We have Erica, the girl from Toronto and Niagara Falls. We have Heather, which I think is Heather the forget which one Heather was.
Tiffany's the
Heather. Yeah, Heather's the one that Daryl says has no chance to win. I believe, or is that
I kept on thinking that Heather was Tiffany, and vice versa.
right? Nasir is the Sri Lankan guy that they need a subtitle every time he's on the screen, which I can understand, but it's I can see how that can be also difficult for people on TV. And then Sydney, I forget which one is Sydney.
Sydney is the adventurous.
Right,
Been to 49
right.
countries. Um, New Yorker from Brooklyn, I think, who is trying to be a lawyer.
Yes, that's correct. And
Yeah,
we can talk a little bit about them because they didn't go to travel council, so we know them less. But it was funny, Dave, mentioning in how do I? Oh, there it is. I can just click on them. I'm new to this, guys. I've never been in the lead chair here, so Dave, producer Dave, is not here right now because he's watching Big Brother. But he said it was hilarious with Blue not unclipping their boat, Jameel. Uh, was it that was also it was also hilarious how the Yellow Tribe was the only tribe that couldn't figure out where their stuff was. Um, did you enjoy? I never
I,
enjoyed this moment at the beginning of the seasons when they're on the ships.
you
Did,
want them off the ship as quickly as possible, and for the actual on the island game to begin. Yes, I agree. Okay, I didn't understand. Why did they not see their paddles if all the paddles were together?
yeah, like, and like, why you have six people and it's a small ship.
Yeah,
What's going on? Like, I mean, like, yeah, embarrassing. Like, just, I mean, that's how I mean, I'm not there and I don't really understand like how that works, but and they don't really show you well on the ship, kind of like how it works, and like they just show you it's kind of chaotic because
yeah.
it's so edited so fast. That took hours to do, and yeah, like I don't know. I'm always just kind of confused. Like, I want them off. I just get them to the beach and please just stop it with the barge scenes.
You the only reason why they have that is so that they can get that money shot that they put in the title credits of them jumping off the boat in slow motion, right? That's and them paddling, so you have like the Jameel underneath his name, right? Like they want that slow motion shot. Like, okay, you got it. Congratulations. Let's move on. Let's get this game going. No one's like strategizing on the boat.
Yes. So Heather Jameel is. I'm just gonna bring into the stream here. Here we go. Heather is the older lady that's from South Carolina that's been watching it since the beginning. You know, so she was kind of lost in the shuffle a little bit tonight, but
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
we can talk a little bit about her and give her due. I thought she was actually going to be a good player. I think she's like going to be a sneaky good player in this
I
game.
I honestly, because I thought Tiffany was the eldest the way it was going. I honestly thought Tiffany was going to be able to see it just work.
I'm just going nuts here. I just want to see what is. Oh,
There you go.
yeah. All right, I just all right. All right.
Okay.
I don't understand how all this works yet, so we're working on it. Okay. Yeah. So I think she'll be good. Like I think, we didn't get to see a lot of this blue tribe, but this blue tribe I think is going to be strong. They're going to be the strong tribe.
Oh yeah, they're
It's
good.
I thought it was going to be the green tribe at first, with this first challenge and how well they paddled and stuff, their teamwork, but they are a hot mess. And no, we saw with the votes tonight how much of a hot mess they're going to be.
They were. Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So then let's talk a little bit about this green tribe because they're the first. They won this challenge to get the flint and I think the pot and I think what else they got. But Jeff's not giving them anything. It's 26 days. You're starving. Get used to it. So on this green tribe we have Brad, Jeannie, JD, Ricard, Sarah who was voted out tonight, and Chantel.
Yes. Also, Dave, no backseat commenting, please.
Oh, and no Rice. Yes. Well, Dave is definitely, he's commenting. We also have a super awesome Caillou God 666 says I've honestly lost hope in Survivor, and
No,
and
Caillou, no.
you could stick with it. I think you're gonna keep watching Caillou. CBS sucked the life out of it. I think Jeff Probst, if anyone, is sucking the life out of it. I don't think it's necessarily CBS, but I think there's still good gameplay. We have to ignore it. It's just window dressing, and we have to ignore some of the what they're doing with a lot of the I'm not saying come on in guys anymore and all this kind of nonsense that's going on. Survivor is Survivor, and
Like we're not going to play voice drops of "come in, guys." No, we want all the fixins.
yes,
We want the
baked
margarita.
potato,
I can
grilled
smell it.
pine. I can smell it. Grilled pineapple margarita. Yeah.
Or like, dig, woman, dig.
Yeah. This is the same man that, like, only a few seasons ago was telling a black woman to dig harder. Yeah. Maybe he is, starting to kind of figure out, okay, maybe I need to be softer, but I think he's going way too far the other way, and, Amanda and I were talking tonight too, like, why is it always that these early pre-jury challenges, Jameel, are always geared toward the men? And that's why it's always keep the tribe strong, keep the tribe. That's always like the strategy to make the challenges pre-jury less about strength. Like,
Or there's a variety because look, and majority what ends up happening is you have the big strong dudes, right, who kind of bro through whatever beginning part of these challenges are, and then there's always a puzzle component, and who's always doing the puzzle? It's always the ladies or the men of smaller stature, and it's just as important, and you can win or lose on that specific portion, but
yeah,
it's keep the tribe strong. It's like, come on.
yeah,
Like, there's in this specific one, it's equal parts, right?
yeah,
If it was just the physical part, yellow team would have won.
right.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But it
That's
wasn't.
speaking of the yellow team, let's get them just kind of name them off before we kind of get through this episode.
Yeah,
David Voci, he's the neurosurgeon. We have Eric Abraham, which who was voted out tonight. We have Evie, who is the star of the show. She had like 15 confessionals. I'm not even
yeah.
like it was ridiculous how many confessionals she had. She's like good. Like I hate when they telegraph this to me because like if she doesn't make like the final five, I'll be shocked.
She's Aubrey.
Yeah, she's Aubrey. Okay. We have Liana Wallace, who's I believe the taller girl.
Yeah.
Um, we have Tiffany, the older New York girl. I think she's from New York.
Who had the mastectomy?
Yep.
Double mastectomy.
Yep. And then we also had Xander, who, God, can I just inject him with some Red Bull or something? Like, I mean, what is going on with
Oh,
Xander?
Lord. Oh, poor Xander.
Poor Xander.
Poor Xander.
Okay.
JD need to give Xander some of his energy,
Yeah.
and they would be in a better spot, both of them. Oh my gosh.
You're so right about that. Okay, so all right, like I said before, the Green Tribe won this like stupid early thing where they literally was just paddle around this thing and come back and pull a thing, and Chuck Probst even told them to pull the key or whatever. So the Green Tribe won, and then they go back to camp. So the Yellow Tribe and the Blue Tribe now have to do one of two challenges: a mind puzzle that's going to take you 4 hours to figure out, or go bail water for 4 hours. And they both chose to bail water. Okay, we have this scene with the Yellow Tribe where David Voci is kind of saying,
He was the
like,
only sensible person. He's like, no, we should not be doing that.
yeah, we should.
There's enough of us here where we could figure it out.
They had a neurosurgeon and a PhD, like DNA research specialist on their tribe. You can't figure out how many triangles are in a friggin' like, really? Like, I don't know. That made no sense to me. The Yellow Tribe should have went for the triangle thing. I guess they both got it done, but I think they wore themselves out. And you know, but the Blue Tribe ended up winning the challenge anyway.
Yeah, but keep the tribe strong. Like I'm seeing it's like you have your two most physical individuals getting worn out, and you have you have a immunity challenge that's happening. And I'm like, we just kind of screwed ourselves there. They should have been resting. We could have just did the triangle thing, right?
Right. So at the Blue Tribe, so while Yuvu, Danny and Deshaun were doing the water thing, and they went off searching for idols. Jaemeel, bad move or good move?
Bad move.
All right, worst move. Nasir ratting them out.
Yes, Nasir ratting them out to everyone.
I think what he should have done was like, where's Danny and Deshaun? I went looking for, I couldn't see them. You don't like say they're looking for idols. You get everyone to go. So hey, where did they go?
Yeah,
and
just
then
like peek.
Yeah, you get everyone to come, and just that's you learn Survivor English through Survivor. You would think the one thing you do is when you first get to the island, you don't throw people's names. This has happened a lot, but you don't throw people's names under the bus immediately. And then everyone was ratting each other out tonight. Like it was amazing how little people were holding cards closer to vest. Everyone was like, throw the cards, 52 pickup is what it felt like tonight, Jaemeel.
You're telling me Nasir could have just went, hey, I'm worried about the two guys. The sun is out and it's really hot, and I have not seen them come this way to drop off water. Do you think they're okay? Do we need to call a doctor? All of a sudden, everyone's on alert and is looking. Is like, yeah, man, we have. I'm staying here. They haven't been in a while. Maybe we should call Jeff, right? All this hectic thinking, right? Yeah. And then eventually they find out, oh no, they were okay. And it's like, well then, where were you guys for all that period of time? You're not telling them what to think. You're just leading them to come to that conclusion. You already know, right? That's how we should have approached it, right? All he proved that he's a snitch, right?
Yeah, and that he is willing to throw people's names under the bus to get himself on top. Yep. And I've noticed in Survivor too, you never want to be the person that is doing the snitching. You want to be the person that's getting the information, and then you can figure out what to do with it from there.
Hmm.
That's what like Boston Rob, did so well was he got other like his minions. Any season he played, he got little minions to like go get him information and bring it back to him, and then he'd be like, "Hey, okay, we're voting him out, but don't tell anybody." Like he would, and he would handle it properly. But
Yep.
um, not here. These are they're newbies, but they're really showing it.
Yep.
Okay, so JD made fire, and I think it was like he won the Super Bowl.
Oh Lord.
He kind of helped. He took over from Sarah, which is ironic because Sarah went home in this episode, and JD was also kind of on the block. Um, what did you make of JD's energy and everything about JD tonight? Because for me, I mean, I get he's young, I get he's 20, but man, you gotta
You're
dial down a notch, man.
you're a Survivor fan, and you don't know that type of energy is like basically you're writing your own name down. You're telling on yourself,
Yeah,
right? This dude was like I couldn't understand it. You mentioned it earlier. I giggled about it, the Carlton line, because literally I was watching this with my mom,
yeah.
and she was like, "This dude reminds me of Carlton," right? Right? And then the whole flashback came, and then she's like, "Give it to me, give it to me." And I'm like, all right, I'll give it to you. I give it to you. She called it, but you see that energy. That dude reeks of Geek to Chic, where he was nerding it up all along, and now all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I'm athletic now. So I gotta let everyone know. I gotta let my he is gonna tell on himself on everything he does. He wants to show off. He wants to see, let people see how good he is, and he's not long for this game at all.
Jamil, David makes a great point here. JD makes fire, goes to the summit, flipped a live tribal council, and gets extra vote all in one episode. What a Carlton! Or is he more of an Urkel?
He's definitely an Urkel, but he would never admit it.
I think he was Urkel, and then he became
Steph,
what Stefan. Yeah, I
yeah.
think he's more like Stefan, but not as cool. Uh, he wants to be Stefan.
Sham is not with him. Sham is definitely not with him.
No, I don't think so either. I think all right, we'll get to that vote, but that
Yes.
vote was odd, Jamil. I did not understand what happened. Uh, it was very strange, but we'll get to it. Okay, so after that, yeah, Ricard basically says, "This JD, this guy, he's not my kind of guy." And so that's kind of like sets up kind of what ends up happening down the road. But yeah, you're right. Exactly what you were just saying is kind of all the reasons. Um,
He goes to Sarah. He's like, "We're the two youngest people. JD, we should team up." But it
yeah,
looked like he was saying it like in front of the rest of the tribe, just like an earshot away.
yeah.
I don't know if that's the editing or it was just that dumb.
I
Um,
would not be surprised. He seems like kind of
yes.
oblivious, like not very self-aware, and he's young. He hasn't had a lot of life experience,
Yeah.
and I think he's just kind of naive and he's excited. He's on a TV show, and he's 20 years old. I'd be
Yeah.
excited too. Okay. Later on, the camps were greeted by a boat, and so it said that one person was going on a journey. So they all picked men, which I thought was interesting. So the Luvu chose Danny, the NFL player.
Well, he
Yas,
volunteered
right?
because no one else was going to do it, and he was tired of standing around
Yeah,
just looking,
they were gonna play rock paper scissors, weren't they, or something
something
like
like
that?
that. Everyone
Yeah,
was like, "Sydney, you're adventurous. You go." You know, whatever.
yeah. I thought that was weird that it was all men. Xander went for the yellow tribe. Yasi. Uh, God, he needs some of JD's energy. And then JD, ironically enough, went for Ua, the Green Tribe.
Yeah.
So all three tribes, went. So basically, all three guys had to do a hike to go look at a sign, so they could come back down to the beach to pick
Their vote.
to pick whether or not they're going to protect their vote or risk their vote. Um, it was I thought it was strange. They spent all this time walking, and they never like did they firm up their plan here and they didn't show us, or like why would the NFL guy Danny like was he just like, you know what, I'm protecting my vote anyway, you guys do what you want to do? Do you think he said that to them?
I think he did tell them to. Well, the way he was talking was he said, "Take the advantage over everything," and then he doesn't take the advantage.
Right.
Eh,
Yeah. I mean, I would have risked my vote 100%. As long as I knew one of the other people was going to protect their vote, I was definitely 100% would risk my vote, because if I'm going home, I'm going whatever. I'm
Well,
losing my vote.
if you were if you're Darius or um, you would have lost your vote if you also were in alignment with the other two.
Oh, so it was yeah, no, if
If you
Danny,
risk, if all three of you risked, you would
right.
have all three lost your vote.
Right. So Danny did the other two guys a huge favor. Now, what was the vote? Where do you get to use that whenever, or I couldn't read it quick enough. I don't know if you saw when they get to use that extra vote. Is it whenever?
I was under the impression it was whenever. They
Okay.
have until the final six to.
Until the final six. Okay.
Yeah,
So they could have used it tonight, and they,
they could have.
yeah. Neither of them went home, so it was the right decision. Okay. So Danny was the first to return to camp, and they all explained their story. You know, ironically enough, Danny, the guy who protected his vote and was telling the truth, um, I thought did a great job. In fairness, Xander also told the truth, but
Hmm.
he was trying to like manipulate to like, we got this extra vote, guys. This is gonna be great, you know. When really he has the extra vote. Like, I don't know. Nobody was like, okay, Xander. Um, this is like, when somebody gets an immunity title, it goes, it's for the tribe.
Yeah,
I don't really see
we
how
can
it's for
use
the
it for any merge or any type of swap or anything like that. And I'm like, wait a second, wait a second.
tribe. Wait a second here.
Like,
But
we
let's
don't want you having that power. Just as quickly as you can get that, you get swapped, you could just go and help the other team, right? Vote out someone else from our tribe that swaps with you.
yeah. Okay, so let's get to JD. JD started talking about, you know, he lied straight face to five people in his tribe about what, like, not what happened, but like what, I think, his whole like confessional too, where he was just like, it's story time and I gotta lie to everybody. And it's just like, oh my God, like, I don't know. He was just annoying me. I was just like, dude, like, take it down a notch. Like you're telling on yourself exactly what you said before.
Yes. Look, here's the stupid thing. So you're telling me that eventually this summit thing, they're not just going to do it once. They're going to do it other times in a season, and they're going to mention you, right, specifically, and then it's going to be mentioned what happened with the other team members, and all the stories are not going to match up. Like people will realize that, um, for example, they're gonna realize it's like, hey, um, when we're sorry, I'm losing my track of thought.
No
Let
worries.
me let me rewind. Uh, there's going to be another summit, and there's
Yep.
going to be different people on it. When
Yep.
these people go on the summit, they're going to talk about what happened previously, and the people from Xander's tribe are going to say Xander came out and admitted that he did this, right? And then Darius people are going to say Darius said he's going to do this, and then they're going to do the math and go, hey, that means for sure Xavier and most likely what's his name got um, got an extra vote.
Yeah, no, most likely for sure. Okay, so let's get to the immunity challenge. So it's sorry, we kind of mentioned it before, but Ricard, decided to speak up and say, what, Jeff, I'm not sure about the word guys. I don't, you know what, I think it's kind of, sexist. He didn't say that, but that's kind of what he was alluding to. And this guy is a man that is gay and has a transgendered husband that is pregnant. I mean, I can kind of understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, I thought it was strange that one man was deciding what, Jeff, it was like Jeff wanted it, and I didn't really understand that. Um, just say, just do it yourself. You don't need to ask permission from the contestants to do it.
Mhm.
Just go, come on in, like, like you,
Or come in, folks, which I think he has done, folks. I'm pretty sure he has.
yeah. Or say, "Come on, y'all," but he's not Southern, so maybe the Southern community would get upset. Uh,
It's just gonna feel. Tom is gonna be like, "Hoo-wee! Look at you, Big Tom."
Big
It's like
Tom.
you took all the lessons from Big Tom. Took you.
Um,
Well, my
so-
favorite Big Tom line is always him talking about Alicia.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. In All Stars, yeah.
Oh yes.
Um, okay, so the
Sorry.
no, no worries. But the one thing I wanted to bring up was Evie in this moment because she was the one on the barge that said, "You know what? No, you can say guys, whatever," and everyone was like, "All right, whatever." Um, and you could just see her kind of give it like one of these, like, "Oh, I should maybe, you know, I don't know." That's how I felt about it a little bit. I was just like, she was like, "Oh God," you know.
Honestly, I just think that Evie's the type of person doesn't give a fuck about it. He doesn't
Yeah,
care.
I hope so because you know, in some ways you should, in some ways you shouldn't. No, it's all dependent on who you are.
Look,
Um,
Jeff. I'm pretty sure that Jeff is gonna slip out and say things that he shouldn't say,
yeah,
and they're just gonna edit it out. He's like, "Let me do it again, and let me
right,
call you all in,"
right.
right? And he's gonna do it the second time. It's like, "Oh, I got to get used to it," right? I'm pretty sure that's happening.
Yeah, yeah, I
Right?
could totally buy that for sure.
So
Okay, so the challenge itself was an obstacle course, heavy lifting. It ended in a puzzle, classic Survivor challenge. Two people had to solve it. This time, only one tribe though would get to go to the get immunity, which I like. I don't know about you, but the contestants weren't happy about it. But I love it as a viewer.
tough,
Uh,
tough for
yeah,
them.
tough shit. And yeah, the two losing tribes both went to tribal council, and they had to give up their flint because they're going to get fire from tribal. Um,
Which is
so
smart.
yeah, for the first three stages of the course, all three tribes were dead even. Yuvu made a huge mistake, had to backtrack, fell behind. In the second to last portion, Ua finished first and began the puzzle ahead of the other two tribes. Yase slowed down on a stage, giving Yuvu a chance to catch up. Shannon and Sarah kept their head in the puzzle stage while Yuvu made quick progress. They ultimately overtook Ua as they complained about a missing piece that they discovered in one of their bags, and this was kind of the crucial part. And I love Probst too. He's like, "What a complete blunder!" Like, what if they only had that bag? They would have won.
It's like we don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know
Don't
that.
make that assumption.
Yeah, he does that a lot. He's like, "Oh my god, this is the worst." Um, Dave is saying here, I blame Ricard for the puzzle piece being in the bag still. I blame Ricard for it
I
as well.
blame everyone on that team. Blame everyone on that team.
Dave says, "Come on in, magpies."
Come, stop it.
Stop it, we say.
Stop it. Like like I'd be like, hey, they're having a lot of trouble. Let's check the bags. Right? Let's check the bags. Uh,
Okay.
it just felt frustrating watching that
So
portion.
so the blue tribe ended up winning. Um I thought that they are going to dominate. I think they have the strongest tribe. They have both Deshaun and Danny, and I think both those guys are quite physical threats. So for me, I just see the blue tribe doing well going forward. They also have I think a good. They also have Nasir, and they have a good set of athletic girls, I think, as well. So I think they're going to do well.
Hmm.
Um, Again, I don't think sometimes I find that when they make these tribes, I go, well, this tribe is like, it always seems to be the yellow or the orange tribe. It's like they always put like the weakest players all in one tribe, and it's just like, what are you doing, Survivor? Like, do you want them to lose? Like, I don't
Is
know.
it roulette picking, or they're just trying to instigate certain profiles together to get the more obvious result?
It feels that way sometimes. Yeah.
Yep. That's why Evie and um was it Volky? Not Volky, um number two pick in our draft, Michael, who needed to get his uh sorry, once again. I am so tired, it's so ridiculous. Look, I love 2 hour episodes,
Yeah.
but not on 2 hour episodes when I'm running on 1 hour of sleep.
No, I
um,
totally get it.
so I totally lost my train of thought. So it doesn't matter. The show goes on.
The
Continue,
show
Jeff.
the show goes on here. Okay, after the loss, Jamil, Tiffany and Liana at Yase plotted the best approach to get Abraham out, while Abraham was working the guys, strength in numbers and keep the tribe strong. That whole mantra. For David, the challenge proved that this is going to be a physical season, and that should determine how they're going to vote. Evie was in talks with the guys about voting Tiffany out, but she was also concerned about going down the path of voting out all the women first. So privately, she went around to everyone trying to get the tribe to oust Abraham, who was kind of being aggressive. They were kind of like,
Overly aggressive.
they were viewing him as like smart and like he's a good player. No, yeah, he screamed Will Sims to me. Like everything about him, I was like, he's aggressive. He's like he kind of like has the same vibe as him. Kind of doesn't have a much self awareness. I don't know. He was giving me a lot of these just aggressive vibes, toxic masculinity, if you will. Um, I think he was not opening up to the girls on his tribe, and that's why he got voted out at the end of the day.
Yep. Especially when you come with that point of view saying, we like some of the guys there, um, the only tool that they have in their skill set that we're seeing is strength. So when you immediately go, we have to preserve strength no matter what, meaning we need to keep me and dude bro over there in this game,
Yeah,
and we're more important than you all. So you just go about your business, and that is not a winning. That's not a winning conversation that you have, right?
yeah,
When this is what I hate. I hate the strength comment, not realizing that there's various forms of strength. If
yeah,
there's anything where there's balance involved, right, and you need strength to be able to hold on, right?
yeah.
Abraham is being the second one out. The
Yeah,
second one out.
you want a small girl for balance, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, like, you're absolutely right, Jamil, like, there's a whole bunch of different things where your different attributes work if you're a good swimmer, like, that has almost nothing to do with your body size, it does a bit, but if you're, like, long and lean, you're gonna be a good swimmer, you know?
Yep.
I think girls often are very good swimmers in Survivor. So I think yeah, just the fact that you can do like lift weights or you have big muscles makes you strong is ridiculous as far as challenges go. Yes, it helps with lifting bags or pushing a cart. Yes, I agree. Uh, but overall, I think it's all about strength in numbers. That's the whole point of tribes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, okay, at UA, Sarah was scared that her flopping on the puzzle would put a target on her back for elimination, but Ricard was determined to keep everyone's focus on JD as an untrustworthy player. Sarah, Jeannie, and Sham seemed on board with JD, but in a conversation with Brad in front of Shan and Sarah, Brad said that the two women are on the table for elimination. So he kind of did the same thing that Abraham did, but he said he'd rather keep the tribe strong. Same general thing that Abraham did. He was less aggressive about it. He was more upfront.
Yeah.
But Brad then went on to tell JD that his name is out there as an option, and Brad and JD were clearly set on voting out Sarah, and Sarah and Ricard seemed set on voting out JD, which left Shan and Jeannie as the swing votes. But that's not what happened tonight, Jamil, at the tribal
Yep.
council. What? Jeannie voted for Ricard. Everyone else seemed to. And Sarah voted for Brad, and everyone else voted for Sarah. What happened at this vote?
Um, it's poor strategy. Poor strategy, and when there's chaos, some people wield it better as a tool, and Evie also obviously did so. Um, yes, we did not forget Nasir.
Even
Stop it.
Shan, the Green Tribe MVP. Okay, she was good. Okay, all right, we'll talk a little bit about Shan because she was the swing vote here, and yes, I do think she is like she reminded me a lot of like a Parvati type player, of a smart enough, savvy enough player to know that she's on in the middle and it could be a good swing vote. even though her name was being thrown out, I think she was smart enough to kind of know, okay, I'm actually not the biggest threat or not the one that's annoying everybody. So I think she is savvy enough to play this game, but at the same time, like I got concerned when she started talking about like, oh, we have, I'm on the bottom because people are throwing my name out. I'm in the middle because I'm the swing vote, and I'm on the top because my social game is the
Yeah,
best, And I was just like, what? Like, like I was just like, Shan, like, just realize you're in the middle. This is a game about voting.
yeah.
You've been there 3 days. Your social game's not that good. Relax. Um, you're not yet anyway. You can't really prove it in 3 days. That's how I feel about it anyway.
Hmm.
Okay, so the first tribal council was the Yellow Tribe, Yasis. Tiffany spoke to the cohesiveness of the tribe's vision and their desire to work really well together as one unit. That sounded really good, but Abraham, he came firing. He was like, "We need strength, and we're not gelling well, and show me the first. There's division in this tribe, and there was all this tension in between Abraham and Tiffany. The tribe did maintain a sense of calm and determination to push forward after this vote with a cohesive tact. But in the voting box, Xander got to earn his extra vote, just like JD we'll see in the next tribal council, and that he can use this until the final six. But we did not see anyone take their shot in the dark. Jeff reads the votes, and it goes Tiffany, Abraham, 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 Abraham. So they went with loyalty and cohesion instead of strength. A blindside. He never saw it coming, Jamil.
He should have saw it coming.
He should
To
have
me, it
saw it
was
coming. I
straightforward.
mean, it was pretty straightforward. I mean, you know what? If this game was played, if this was Survivor 21, he would have stayed, and Tiffany would have went home. But it has changed. Survivor has changed in that way because I'd much rather I would think this way too. Like if I was closer with Tiffany than Abraham, I'd be like, screw strength. I'd rather our tribe lose, get to the merge, and then watch the other two tribes kill each other, and then usually the person in the bottom tribe wins. You know, that's often what happens. Look at Denise or and Malcolm in the Philippines season. That's exactly what happened. Okay. They also brought up the David Goliath season, and that also was kind of similar as well.
So
Um,
everyone just is holding on to Bloodwater reference coming up soon.
oh yeah.
Um, so we mention next.
Okay, so at the UA Tribal Council, they also told Jeff that they genuinely like each other. They're chill. It's namaste
Namaste.
over here, which I thought was hilarious because they are not namaste at all. It was if anything, the other tribe was the Yellow Tribe, Yasi, was way more namaste than the Green Tribe. The Green Tribe is a hot mess, Jamil.
Hot bag of intrigue and back and forth, and it's just. I know this game's gonna go fast. I just hope that the people who know this game well enough position themselves because it's a quick turnaround before they outed this game.
Yeah, agreed. Um, okay, so all right, we had all right. JD was kind of making me cringe and laugh at the same time here. All right, so I think they need to institute a rule at tribal councils, Jamil. You cannot get up off your stump.
Thank you, thank you. I'm
That
I'm
is,
tired. I'm tired of this live. No
it's
talk.
awful.
Yeah,
When JD got up and then he was like, "What are we having a live tribal council? Oh, we're having a live tribal because he knows it's going to be good TV. It's awful TV. Stop it,
yeah.
Jeff. Institute a rule. You can't get up off your stump once you sit down for tribal council. Dave, it's not about talking. We want them talking at tribal. We don't want them whispering in each other's ears. None of
Yes,
that. No back talking. No behind the scenes. That is the whole purpose of tribal is to air out the grievances of the tribe in public. That's
exactly.
the whole purpose. Jeff Probst, you stop worrying about saying the word guys and start instituting rules at tribal council because this is getting ridiculous.
Yep.
Thank
It's
you very
like
much.
I'm asking you a question. You want to answer it? Reveal what you feel. Right. Reveal it to the cast.
Yeah, and just because we would have got a different vote tonight here with the
Yeah, we
green
would
chart.
have.
If everyone had to put their cards on the table, their Rick cards on the table, if you will. Um,
I
I
don't
think
think there was no chance that Brad was going home. None.
I think there. Do you think there was no chance?
There was no chance. There was no way. Like immediately, it seemed like they rejected the idea of voting that man out.
It seemed okay. So who rejected it? Was it Jeannie that rejected it? She voted for Ricard, so
Hmm.
she I think agreed with you more, and I would have voted Ricard too if I was on this tribe. I know I said JD earlier, but JD is the type of person that is easy to take out later. He's not gonna bamboozle anybody.
Definitely.
Um, so uh, for okay, and then we had but my question is, why did Chantel want to vote out Sarah? Why did Ricard want to vote out Sarah? It seemed like they were aligned.
It does. It does. It does seem that way. It does seem that way. That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I can think that's poor editing maybe from the show. I don't get why Sarah went home. I was so convinced it was going to be Brad or JD, and then Sarah goes home, and maybe it was just a red herring, and they wanted to surprise me and the audience in general. But I thought it was very strange that, like, I got that Brad and Jeannie were kind of on the same page. That made sense to me.
The
JD kind of wanting to be with Brad also made sense with me, but it
I
seemed
I,
like
I do not understand why she didn't roll her die. I didn't understand at all.
okay. So yeah. So the rolling of the die was who had that power? Was it
No,
Sarah?
everyone
Ev-
does.
Everyone has that,
You have a 16.7% chance of
right?
not. Yeah.
So I kind of missed that part. So basically, what's that mean? So do you roll that before the votes?
Um, you do it while voting, and then you're either safe or you're not. You lose your ability to vote.
Oh, okay.
So
So
once you've gone down that path, you can vote, right? And then you wait for the results of if you will have immunity or you will not.
yeah, okay. So you have to kind of like watch the votes, and then what Jeff says, like, oh, actually, this person was immune. Is that how it works?
Um, it's I they don't really tell you the back end. So like if someone that you voted for has immunity, does it count as if does it count as if they have immunity and that vote isn't it doesn't count, right? Or is it just you know a nullifier of some sort in terms of like votes just don't count or like what
Right.
exactly is it?
So there was that. Okay, so at one point, Shan and Bran were the focus of the whispering, where they were trying to get on the same page between Brad versus Sarah. At that point, no one felt safe, and so everyone motioned to put their die in their pocket in preparation for an unpredictable vote.
Yep.
At the box, we didn't see anyone cast their die, but we did see JD get his extra vote. Jeff reads the votes. They go Ricard, Sarah, Brad, Sarah, Sarah, and then the last one was Sarah too. What a weird tribal council. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So next week we got a preview. Brad is desperate to find a hidden idol. He thinks he's next to go on his tribe,
Brad,
and
no.
Brad no, and Nasir should be, but nobody's talking about him. And then
Yeah.
and then we we have to find out what's going to be who's on the outs here at Yuvu. So that's kind of the preview for next week.
I'm
And
ready.
I'm ready. I'm actually pretty excited for the season. I'm not going to lie, Jamil. I think that the 26 days, I think is going to be good because I think the fact that the pre-jury is going to go faster is good. I don't like the fact that previous Survivor seasons they spent so much time with pre-jury stuff that with people that really don't matter as far as the game goes once we get to jury, and I just the quicker we can get to jury and then we can go one by one, I think the better.
Absolutely. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay, so we got to get out of here. We got to get out of the way of Big Brother. My brother and Daryl are coming on. Stay tuned. I know everyone wants to figure out what's going on with the cookout and everything that's going on BB23. It's all about Xavier's gonna win, so that's my that's what it seems like anyway.
And Big D going out of his way to make sure that he does not get taken to the end.
Big D
He's
is
determined.
he's determined to finish third,
Yep.
and nobody knows why. And and we're gonna see Ozza maybe, or Kylan said at the end. We're not sure who.
Sure.
But that's what tonight's all about, and so Dave's going to be covering that with Daryl. Stay tuned, but join us next week for the next episode of Survivor, where we break down everything that's going on here. What is the name of the season, by the way? Do we even know? Is there a name?
41.
It's
It's just
it's just
41.
Survivor 41. That there's
Yeah.
no name. There's no. Okay, I kind of like that. No more themes.
Just number. Just number.
Okay, good.
The fact that it's new is the gimmick. We don't need to put a hat in a hat.
It's Survivor COVID. That's what it feels like. Survivor COVID. Okay, so join us next week for Survivor COVID season 41. I have been your host.
Do you want me to do a rundown? I'll do the rundown quickly.
Do the rundown.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I mean the different shows. The different.
Oh,
shows.
what's Jaemeel? What do we have coming up on all of our Live Long and podcasts and all of our networks?
Okay, so first off, Super Mader Brothers. You see it. This is the first episode of Survivor. Follow us every Wednesday. Right after the show, about 9:30, I believe it's going to be. Right here in Super Mader Brothers, you'll see us recap Survivor throughout the season. Just ending, and what's going to be following us is the recap for Big Brother. On Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, we do Big Brothers. We have done it for the season. This is our 11th week, or this is week 12. I can never remember. And we have the veto tonight. Tomorrow is the live eviction. We still haven't figured out what our schedule is concerning if we're going to do a Friday show or not. But we have Friday, Sunday, and then Wednesday is finale night. We're at the tail end. We're at the finish line for Big Brother. So check us out on those days, with the exception of Friday. We'll give more information regarding that, what we're going to do for that. Additionally, on Super Mader Brothers, we do the Marvel Cinematic Universe shows. We just did Shang-Chi. This is where I do this. We've done shows like Tiger King and also The Serpent, right? And soon we will be doing What If, and then when Eternals comes out, we'll do that as well. So when it comes to TV and movie recaps, Super Mader Brothers is the channel for you to watch. We also do Star Trek podcast. We have Live Long and Podcast. On Mondays, we do the original series. We have about 3 episodes left. So join us on Mondays. I believe it's around 9 o'clock for that. On Tuesdays is our Deep Space Nine, our 9 at 9-ish, where we recap every episode of Deep Space Nine. We're currently in the 4th season. It's getting good, people. Perfect time to jump on. And then plus, if you want to catch up, you can just check our archives and you can just check our archives and see past episodes, so you can catch up and run alongside us. On Thursdays, we do Lower Decks at around 8 o'clock. So jump on board. 7 o'clock, sorry. 7 o'clock. Watch us. The series is almost over for this season. And once that's over, we'll be doing Star Trek Prodigy, the new kids animated show. Right after that, we'll be doing Discovery, Picard, and Strange New Worlds when they release as well. So please check that out. And then lastly, we have one more channel, which is called Trivia Debates on Sundays. 3 amazing individuals will compete in battle of wits and intelligence on a game show where they debate movies, music, TV, sports, art, history. And on Sunday, we have a great one. This is where Dave will show the graphic, but no graphics is being shown.
We have no producer here.
Max Doda, Jessica Chan, and I forget the third person. Sorry.
Oh, Davin Skellhorn.
Davin, yes. from Locutors of Trek.
That's right.
Great podcast, a friend of the podcast, and the cousin of the Mader brothers.
That's right.
He is a Mader for sure, right? So check
He's
that out.
actually not. He's a horn. He's from my mom's side, but
Yes, a horn, but awesome nonetheless. So check that podcast out, and also check out Trivial Debates on Sundays. It's going to be a doozy. Chris Seymour is the host of it, so that means wackiness and Primus references. That's all in terms of our shows. Oh, sorry, and also Dave's Sons has a podcast called Let's Talk About Video Games. You can check it
No.
out on Spotify. What?
Let's talk about fighting games.
Let's talk about fighting games. I always mess this up. Check it out on all anywhere you listen to podcasts. That's it. Close
Okay,
off the
thank you,
show.
Jaemeel. Thank you, Jaemeel, for giving us that rundown. So join us next week for all of us here at Super Mader Bros Podcasting, mostly myself and Jaemeel Robinson. Join us next week for another episode of Survivor. It's been
See you guys.
See you guys.
Come on in, guys. Dig, woman, dig.
Dig. Come on out. All right, we'll go out on a Dave Mader comment. Come on out, guys. Can be the new era. See you guys.